You better buckle up, Buttercup, because I am fired up. I sat down, took some notes as I got ready to record this, which I'm trying to get better at because I prefer much more shooting from the hip. I'm also neurodivergent. And so I can find myself at the end of the episode just feeling like I talked out of my booty and I didn't actually offer things you can try. So I was like, get your head around this one because it's huge. And writing those notes got me really pumped. So hey, I'm Steph Rubio, your go to for no nonsense chit chat on growing a business and life that you actually love. Around here, we're rooted in who we are, even if we're still learning to love her, getting clear on where we want to go, and we're relentless in our pursuit to get there. We're clawing our way out of survival mode and learning to bet on ourselves. We get into the nitty gritty of growth in life and in business, money, identity, boundaries, healing, leadership, parenting, partners, and all the messy bits in between. If you're ready to grow on your own terms, laugh a lot, possibly cry a little, maybe laugh until we cry if we're lucky, then hit subscribe and let's get into it. This is Rooted and Relentless. Grab your notepad and hold on to your tits. This one's for you. Definitely get your notepads, definitely get excited. Take it to heart because the big thing I want you to remember here is that we all started somewhere. We all did. The people that you're looking at and they've had success and they're showing up and they're freaking rocking it and you might admire them and look up to them. They also had to start marketing on social media at some point, and they also had to do it scared, and they also most likely had some folks on there from their past life. So just remember, you're not alone, and let's dig into it. One of the most common things I hear from folks that are starting out on their business journey or starting to market on social media, or maybe they've started their business and they're struggling to find clients. And we start talking about if they need to market on social media. And when people talk about this, without a doubt, once a week or every so often, people admit that they're scared because of some sort of family and friends that are on their social media. I'm most heavily on Instagram, and this is very common over there because many moons ago, Instagram was just for snapping pictures and for your family and friends. And so some people then start their business. And when they start consider marketing that business, they're left with the fact they're staring Aunt Susie May in the face. And what is she going to say about the fact that now you're talking about a business and what do you know? Yeah, that's scary. I'm going to use the word friends, but I use it loosely because they're not your friends if they were judging you. But I know it's not only family, it's those people that maybe saw you start selling makeup 10 or 15 years ago and then stop because it wasn't for you. And that person who maybe saw you try to start a little online clothing boutique 10 or 15 years ago and then stop because you didn't have the tools, the time, or the skills to do so and you gave up. And now they're watching you do it again. And you know that they're going to be thinking, here she goes again. By the way, everything I just described was me. I did start a clothing boutique a very long time ago now, pregnant with my son, I think, and he's 12. So a long time ago. You can actually still find the social media handle, the Instagram handle, if I was brave enough to tell you. I'm not doing that yet. It's hilarious. And I also used to sell Mary Kay. It's actually where I learned a lot of skincare, and I'm very grateful for it. But selling makeup in someone's living room, having my why and my need, which was to be a mom and be present and take care of myself and my kid, was my why, my reason. And Mary Kay was not the vessel to do that. But what I had to realize over time, and I am very confident and aware of now, is that I have an entrepreneurial spirit. I like new, I like innovation, I like being in charge and in control, and I am very smart when it comes to business. So it took me a long time to gain that knowledge, and I want to use all that, right? Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's get back on track. It's about sharing and posting. So I've done it. I did it all scared, and I knew without a doubt when I started posting about my business current state several years ago that there were going to be people that were like, here she goes again, especially on Facebook. Like I have an active business Facebook that my Instagram automatically posts to. So I'm not over there really talking to people, nurturing, building, growing fun. But because of that, people are definitely going to see it from my past life. My Instagram, I had a personal one and I had to show and share, and people like my mother-in-law are on there and family members. And I just had to get over that. I knew they were going to see things. And even if they're not judging what you're doing, they might be judging the fact that you're trying to starting a business versus leaving your corporate 9 to 5 where you make $135,000. Whatever the case, it doesn't stop it from being scary. I understand that. This is what I need you to remember always. And this is what I remind people of. But don't worry, I am going to give you some strategies to try. This is a mindset thing though. So while I will give you strategies, the best thing that's going to help you is flipping the script and remembering what I'm about to tell you throughout before we get to the strategy component. So The first thing I want you to remember about Aunt Susie May that's going to see that Instagram post that you share on shaky knees because you have a passion and you have a drive and you have a business that is going to be your vessel now for effectively reaching and helping the people you want to, and also living that life you're dreaming about a couple years from now when you've got the right motions in place and the clients are coming in a bit more effortlessly and you've aligned on your pricing and offers and you're waking up every day with the peaceful mornings you want. When all that starts to come to fruition, are you really going to let Aunt Susie May be a barrier to that? Is Aunt Susie May buying your products or services? Is she one of your ideal people? That's the first question I need you to answer. If Aunt Susie May, that person you're scared of judgment, that old friend from high school that's just going to be like, here she goes again on your social media, is going to judge you to that extent. Why is she talking about that? She doesn't know what she's talking about. Here she goes again. Are they going to buy your product or service? Probably not. So if they're not, you're really not even talking to them, right? If we're talking about social media marketing specifically here, and when you talk to people and you develop that content and you're educating or you're humoring folks, whatever reason, and you're trying to pull in the right people, you just admitted they're not the right people. They're not going to benefit from your product or service. You're not trying to sell it to them. So first, why do you care? You should only be talking to the people that this is for from a marketing standpoint. We're calling in the right people. We're cutting the other ones out. And no, that doesn't scare us anymore. Because when we're highly aligned with the folks we're working with, boom, it all happens easier. Okay. I made that sound very easy. There's a lot more complexity, obviously, to running your business and your client experience, but you get where I'm going with it. So if they are going to, they're not supporting you financially, actually, because they're not purchasing your products. They're not your people. Why do we care? We're not talking to them anyway. Second, if they were going to buy your product or service, but they're judging how you show up about it. One, do they have any experience in social media marketing? You should only be listening to people when it's about showing up and learning these new strategies and tactics for marketing your business on social media. You should only be listening to the people who know about it. Good luck getting lost in the algorithm on Instagram with all the gurus out there, but this isn't about them right now. You should only be surrounding yourself, your support group, your mentors for this new journey that you're on with your business, whether you're pivoting, restarting, starting for the first time, or your business has been established, but now you're new to marketing it on social media. Then there's still tactics you need to be aware of. Being, if they're going to buy your product or service, then it is for them. Your marketing is being produced for the people that your product or service benefits. So they're going to be on board, they're going to support you, and they're not going to judge you, and your fear is all in your head. It's one or the other. They're not going to judge you because they are supportive and it is for them. So you should post anyway, and maybe they'll buy from you. Or they're not for you. They're not the people you're trying to sell to. They will not benefit from your product or your service, or they don't have the money. They're not your qualifying ideal client, whatever the reason is. So you're not talking to them anyway. So why do we care? That's what you have to figure out. What is it you actually care about? Here's the things. Here's the tactics. Let's get straight into those things you can do. So that's what I first want you to remember every single time is why you care. Do it anyway. Do it scared. That's really the biggest piece of advice. Even though I'm going to give you several, you have to do it scared. You're not going to stop being scared. Publishing a podcast for the first time, knowing that then I couldn't just do some of the tactics. I can't just remove followers. I'm going to give you one of those suggestions. Just remove them from your account. I can't just do that when someone listens to my podcast. So it's going to live out there. But this is me and my expertise and my story, the way I want to share it. And I've gotten to a place where if that doesn't work for anyone, the most close people in my life to the furthest people that still have some kind of clause in my life, then it's not for them and that's okay. I'm not for them anymore and that's okay. And I mean that for family, friends, whatever. I have to be okay with that. Second, they don't understand what I'm doing. If they've never marketed on social media, they don't understand what I'm doing. And that's also okay. So a couple things you can do. One, I already alluded to it, but curate your audience guilt-free. What does that mean? Well, first off, remove those people as followers. You can go remove your followers. And remember, it's your space. It's a privilege for anyone to be there. So the same thing that like you could get some hateful comments from people, you're going to go remove them as your followers because it's your space. You're posting the content. So you have to be there, right? That's how you're choosing to market your business, but they don't have to. It's a choice. It's your page. So remove them. I did this in the earlier days when I was concerned of who would see what. And like, oh, they have more business experience than me, so they're going to think I'm crazy anyway. They're not going to get it, blah, blah, blah. I just removed them, and that removed the pressure of them being able to see my content. You have an option here too. So remove them. You can either tell them or not, depending on how close we were, like extended family, extended in-laws. I might just remove them and not say anything. If you were closer and they'll definitely notice the absence, you can tell them like, hey, I'm getting ready to do some scary things. I'm marketing on social media. You may or may not know what that means, but I have a hard time doing it with your eyes on me. So I'm going to remove you for a while and just go hard at it and ask that you understand and let them be in on your personal stories if that's what you're going to do. At the end of the day, it's your business and what feels right to you. Remove them and say, oops, I don't know what happened if you're still that scared. Okay. But you have to do what's right for you in your business. You're going to learn the hard way that as the CEO of your business, as the business owner, as the person in charge, you have to filter everything through what's best for your business and obviously what's best for you, with your business being the vessel to how you reach your goals and the life that you want to live. You have to start filtering things through that. What's best for the business, and what's best for the business might not be having family and friends on your social media account. And that's okay. You can tell them you're stepping into a new zone. It's time to get on or get off. You know what I'm saying? Okay. This is another one thing you can try. You're going to have to pick any combination of these that work for you. Anchor in why every time you get ready to hit post. Okay. For me, I call these mini goals. So I'm not talking about the why, like why you started your business, though that's important. And you definitely need to remember that. I'm talking about the piece of content itself. What's your mini goal from that content? You're likely not hoping that one thing's going to turn into clients. Sometimes it is. You're likely hoping that it gets people to push like, or it gets people to start a conversation in your DMs, or it gets people to laugh and follow you and remember you. What is your mini goal from that piece of content? You should always know this, irrelevant to like people judging you or not. Because if you're not clear on what you want out of that, you're not going to craft it and curate it that way. Okay. So that's the second thing. When you're curating your content and thinking about it, what is your mini goal? What are you hoping to get? And you can write that down and put it on a sticky note if it works for you. You can chant it. I don't care. But what is the mini goal for each one? So when you focus on your audience instead of that potential side eye from Aunt Susie May, you can be more aligned and it's easier to hit publish them. You're still going to be scared. So that's why overarching the whole theme here is to do it scared. Your future self will thank you. Okay? Do it scared. Your future self will thank you. The other option is post as if they don't exist. Again, that's just ignoring it, getting over it, remembering why you're here and that the content you're creating are for the people that are for you, who get your sense of humor or lack of, who understand the product or service that you're selling is for them. So you post as if those people don't exist. You're creating content for the room full of dream clients. So if you need to get woo woo with it, close your eyes and imagine if you don't get stage fright, it's a room full of people who need or want your product or service. And if they don't fit into that, you're not creating it for them. We've already talked about that. So remember it. Desensitize yourself a little bit with low stakes visibility. So the things that are easier, shorter, think like stories on Instagram, where yes, they could see it unless you have taken my first advice and remove them, which I highly, highly, highly suggest. You're going to do like quick little behind the scenes, quick little tips that feel casual and good to you. That's a bridge of yourself and whatever business you're running. This will help you over time get a little more confident, realize either Aunt Susie May is going to judge you and she's going to have the gumption to come say something to you, and you are going to remember what your good friend and mentor in business, Stephanie Rubio, said. And you're going to say thanks, but no thanks, Aunt Susie, because our areas of expertise different. And my friend Steph Rubio said I better listen to her if I want to do this successfully. So I'm not open to your feedback right now on how I show up on social media, but thank you. If we're going to skip past that and you still need to, because Aunt Susie May did look at it, you are going to build up over time to post longer, more confident pieces of content, because you start with the easy small change. You did it scared and you realized Aunt Susie May either didn't say anything because she actually isn't going to judge you and the fear was in your head, or Aunt Susie May did judge you and you hit her with that can't hear you, no thank you, moving on. Then over time, you'll realize you did it scared, you didn't die, and crazy, some magic might happen. Your people might actually start finding you and they might actually start having fun conversations. You might actually see what's on the side of doing it scared and ignoring what Aunt Susie May said. And you're going to be like, oh my God, this is magical. And boom, your confidence grows and you start to see some traction and you start to realize your good old friend Steph Rubio was right. And you are confident enough to do more longer form versions of what you started doing to build that confidence. Okay. Another tactic I love that you can try is borrow confidence from your future self. Again, this is a lot of stuff in your head, but close your eyes. Imagine yourself a year from now. What do you look like? What do you feel like? How are you moving through the world? What level of success is your business at? Picture it. Picture it thriving because you showed up consistently. And ask yourself what she would post. What would she not give a damn about? What would she share? After you've done the visuals, don't answer the questions first because you're answering them from now. Close your eyes and imagine yourself a year from now in your business. What kind of clients are signing? How are your clients finding you? Are they paying you with no issues? Or are you still hopping on sales calls and kind of talking them through it? What are they most excited about when they finish working with you, if they finish? Imagine all of that. Now, that woman, what would she post about? That's who you're showing up as today, okay? And Aunt Susie May, who may or may not be judgmental, she has nothing to do with you a year from now. Not how you market your business, that is. Lastly, tell them no thanks. If you haven't removed them and if the fear isn't in your head and if they do show up and they have something to say or they comment or they share something negative or you feel any sort of judgment coming through from them, first remember that they're seeing you try and that try is always going to be messy, especially if you're doing it scared, and that trying is very brave. And unless they have ever been an entrepreneur, because every single entrepreneur has one thing in common, they've had to be brave at some point or another and put themselves and their idea and their new baby business out there. If they don't understand that, they're just never going to understand that. So tell them that in the season of business you're in, right now you'd prefer to, because it is on its shaky knees or whatever, you're learning about this digital marketing world that's ever evolving, that you want to just listen to your own mentors and experts right now and you appreciate them caring about you, but you don't want to take their advice right now because it might confuse you a little bit further. Communicate with them directly. Also might be scared, but if Aunt Susie May is that detrimental that she's giving you feedback that is actually judgmental or negative, you need to kick it in the can or else it's going to be the reason that you don't have a successful business. And how freaking tragic that would be. Okay, those were the last of kind of the tips or strategies, but I want to leave you with something really important. I want you to answer these questions, okay? If this affects you, if you've ever been affected by this. First, can you run an effective, successful business, the one that you're trying to right now, without marketing your business online, without a solid digital footprint? Can you? In this day and age, you're only you, because I don't even know who's listening right now, can answer what you sell, what product or service you sell, what you're offering people, what you actually give in return for making money. Can you do that without marketing your business online? It's possible. Some people can, very few. But answer that first. If you're listening to this podcast, the answer is probably not. I think it's probably a no. So now answer this. Are you willing to let your family or friends from days old be the reason that you do not have a successful business? The business that was meant to pay off your debt or spend more time with your kids or travel more or quit working for that dickhead boss or spend more time with your family. Whatever your why was for starting this business, you started a business for some deep why of what you needed to be different or change or what you wanted to feel every day. Are you going to let these people who don't understand marketing your business online be the reason that you don't reach that you don't ever achieve that feeling of peace that's going to come from whatever that reason was? Are you okay with them being the reason it all falls apart? That's dumb. And if so, you should quit your business right now. I'm just saying. I'm in the business of preventing women from throwing in the towel and quitting their business. So it's hard for me to even say that. I literally have chills right now because I know the amount of people that do. I know the amount of times I've hit pause and taking on different opportunities because I was so terrified and how I held myself back for years. So I'm extremely, extremely passionate about women putting in the work, doing the hard and scary thing, taking control of the own reins in their life, using their business as a vessel to do it. I am so passionate about that. But at the end of the day, if you're willing to let Aunt Susie May or the fear of judgment be the reason that you do not reach the level of success you're capable of, then you're wasting your time now and you're not going to reach that success. So go ahead and give them the reins, let them win, and go sit in a cubicle somewhere where you don't have to worry about them seeing what you do every day. Or do the scary thing. We're all here cheering for you, clapping for you, holding your hand. I am happy to chat it out. I am happy to remind you the moment that you get ready to post that scary thing, come find me on Instagram. I'm dead ass serious. I'm going to comment on it and I'm going to talk about how brave and awesome you are so that other people can see that. Okay, that's it for today, at least on this subject. Holy smokes, I had a lot to say. At the time I have recorded this, it was 20 minutes. So let's see what happens after some editing, some light editing. For the first time ever, I was supposed to do this all of my episodes. I planned it. I talked about it with a friend for months, like the end of 2024 and on, before I lost at this podcast, that I wanted to do a little segment at the end. I even polled my Instagram audience to see what they thought. And then my first 5 episodes, I completely forgot because I was so crazy, so excited, so much going on, and I forgot. That's okay. So this is the part of the episode where I like to call reading with Rubio. I'm not sure why I did my own wind chimes when I could probably put those through audio on the podcast, but whatever, here we are. Reading with Rubio. I'm a reading freak. 99.56% of the time, it's going to be some sort of fantasy book, fantasy, big, 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 big fan there. I do enough reading for growth and professional development through blogs, through showing up to webinars with the systems I use, through putting myself in rooms with other people who will help me grow and stretch. I keep my tool sharp already that I typically don't choose books for that. Funny saying that because that's what I have for you right now. Today, I'm going to start U2. So this is one I consider like professional development or growth. This book was recommended to me by Taylor Smith from The Power Table, a fellow baddie, powerful woman. So U2 is a high velocity formula for multiplying your personal effectiveness in quantum leaps. This is about the power of U squared. So taking U and squaring it, baby, for max impact. The quantum leap strategy for breakthrough performance. I won't read all of the back, but you can see she's pretty little and small. So I'll probably get a pen and a highlighter and I'll jump right in. I chose this book right now because I am in a build season of my business. I pivoted last year, beginning of last year, really hardcore, and I went from operational support to consulting and coaching only. This is clearly where I thrive, clearly why the podcast is here, clearly why I just got pumped, hot, and heated on giving you advice for showing up even when you're scared, marketing your business to be successful. You can probably feel the passion coming through. Let me calm down and let me take a breath. So I am reading this because I feel like this is going to help with the creative zone I'm in. I've been in a creative zone for a while though, so that could tank, that energy could smash. I think that this is going to be a perfect catalyst for that, to keep that oomph and that energy and just flex that brain muscle enough to get me really excited about some really scary big moves I'm walking into and the future of Steph Rubio. So think beyond what common sense would allow. I'm just pumped to dig into this one. Okay, I'll shush it up now. You have a job to either come leave a review for me because I love you and you love me and we're going to be great friends. Mostly, I want to know what you're reading. So pop into my Instagram. You can find me at virtually_Steph Rubio. I'll link that in the show notes as well. But come over there, send me a little DM and tell me what you're reading right now and why. And remember that everything's on the table. You can see some of my preferences back here. If you're watching the video, we got some Fourth Wing, some Fearless, some ACOTAR, some Throwing a Glass. Come tell me what you're reading. Let's talk about it. Bye. Well, that's a wrap on this episode of Rooted and Relentless. If it made you laugh, nod along, or grab that cute little notebook of yours and scribble something down, please hit me with the SSR, subscribe, share, and review, as in leave a review. Don't forget to tag me on Instagram at virtually_Steph Rubio and tell me what you're reading this week. Seriously, I live for a good book moment. Thanks for hanging. Bye.